Mage from the Department of Materials, taking the guesswork out of medicine, sensors, steamships, and loops.
Thanks for the introduction. And actually, I'd like to start out today by taking a second to remind all of you that you are unique and special individuals, each different in your own way, and that is a problem. Well, it's more that it's a problem in the field of medicine because of the way that different people react to different medications in different ways. This is something called variable dose response. And I know that sounds kind of complicated, but actually, anyone who spent a Friday night in Isla Vista is aware of the ways that different people can respond to the same substance in a vastly different variety of ways. It turns out that this effect is actually even more pronounced when we start to look at potent medical compounds that we use to treat disease, like chemotherapy drugs for treating cancer. The problem with variable dose response is that it makes it very difficult for doctors to determine the ideal dosage of medication for a specific patient. They have to give enough so that it does its job, but not so much that it causes harmful side effects. And this is actually a really difficult balance to find. Unfortunately, the current method for determining these dosages is more or less a highly educated form of guesswork. And this is costly, takes a long time, and in a lot of cases really isn't that effective. But what if there was a different way altogether of thinking about delivering the perfect drug dose? What if we could take guesswork out of the equation by listening to what the body is telling us in response to medication in real time? Well, in my research, I'm trying to combine approaches from biotechnology and engineering to design a system that listens to what the body is saying and delivers drugs accordingly. And to do that, we need two things. We need the ability to sense and see what's happening in the body, and then the ability to control what a drug is doing based on that information. Now, this sensor needs to be able to see what a drug is actually doing in real time. And my colleague, Scott Ferguson, actually spent a long time developing a system based on some really neat science, such as shape-shifting molecules that recognize a drug, or fluid flows that are thinner than a human hair. And he put them all into this little chip. And what this chip gives us, for the first time ever, is the ability to watch inside a live animal the reaction of the body to a drug from minute to minute. So we can see in this rat the way that the injection of a chemotherapy drug changes over time. So with this chip, we have a window into the body. Now how do we use that information to control drug delivery? Well, it turns out that a group of engineers about 100 years ago faced a similar problem, albeit with slightly larger patients. What they were trying to do was develop a system that would keep large steamships reliably on course in a variety of conditions. And this led to something called an automatic feedback controller. Now, I won't bore you with the details of this, but the key takeaway is we think we can apply the fundamental principles underlying automatic control to the delivery of drugs in the body. And by combining this old-fashioned control with cutting-edge sensing technology, we hope that we can take the guesswork out of medicine, making our existing medications safer and more effective, and revolutionizing the field of personalized medicine in the years to come. So, at the end of the day, we may all be different individuals, but maybe that's okay. Thank you.